This is Season 9, Episode 190 of the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast.
Sometimes the important thing is not the number of miles you've driven, but what's going on inside your head while driving. The Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast will stimulate your mind and keep you company while on the road. Join us for education, motivation, and inspiration from wherever you may be in our nation. You'll hear roundtable discussions about important information that's impacting our industry. Plus, you'll learn more about new technology, equipment, driving opportunities, safety, and operations. Get driver success and fitness tips to keep you profitable, safe, healthy, as well as entertaining stories from the road. And don't you know, we've all got a few of those. We might be traveling in different directions, but we're all part of one driver community at the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. With your host, trucker Tim Cicerelli.
Well, hello, friends, and welcome in to Season 9, Episode 190, the final episode of Season 9. My name is Tim Cicerelli, otherwise known as Trucker Tim, and I tell you, it is hard to believe that nearly 5 years ago, we launched this podcast as a simple experiment to better connect with you, the incredible people who make up Stevens Transport, and to those of you who are thinking about embarking upon a career in transportation and you're doing your research and determining where you want to hitch your wagon. Well, we certainly hope that you consider Stevens Transport. That's the whole reason for this podcast. And honestly, weren't sure where this journey would really take us, but thanks to all of you, it has grown exponentially into something very special, and I am blessed to be a part of it. Today, we are knocking on the door of Season 10, and Episode 200 will be here in just a few weeks, and these are milestones we never imagined when we first hit that record button 5 years ago. None of this would be possible without you, our company drivers, our contracted drivers, employees, and of course, all of our listeners who has shared these episodes with your friends, family, and others in this industry. So, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. Your support, your stories, and your encouragement continue to inspire every episode that we produce, and we can't wait to get back very soon with an exciting Season 10. But before we get there, we got a terrific finale lined up for you for Season 9. We'll welcome two outstanding new members to the Stevens Transport family who will shape the future of this amazing company. We'll also meet independent contracted driver Thomas Andres II in this week's Driver Spotlight. It's audio pulled from a video you can find on our Stevens Transport YouTube channel. We'll also tip our big 10-gallon Stevens cap in appreciation to one of the true legends of Stevens Transport, John Grants, who recently reached an astonishing 3 million safe miles. That means he's in the Hall of Fame not once, not twice, but 3 times, all while mentoring more than 150 drivers along the way. More on that coming up. But first, let's kick things off as we welcome back a familiar face to Stevens Transport. This gentleman returns after more than 2 decades away to become our new Director of Driver Recruiting, and he's here to share why putting drivers first has always been and always will be the Stevens difference. Let's welcome our new Director of Driver Recruiting, David Edge, on our Stevens Roundtable. It's our Stevens Roundtable, and if you're watching this promo video on social media or YouTube, you'll notice today I have on a Georgia Bulldog hat and a shirt because I'm a big dog fan, but more importantly because we're welcoming back to Stevens Transport someone who was with the company many years ago, took a bit of a hiatus. I believe he did attend the University of Georgia, and he is surrounded by all those Texas Longhorns there in Dallas. So I wanted to make him feel welcome back to Stevens Transport, our new Director of Driver Recruiting, David Edge. David, before we go any further, go Dogs.
Hey, go Dogs as well. Just to correct that a little bit, I went to the Tifton, Georgia campus, not in the glory land up there in Athens. But it's all the same. If you're in Georgia, you got to be a dog fan. But hey, more importantly, I am glad to be back here at Stevens Transport. It's been a while. I came in before as a field recruiter, cut some teeth, got my recruiting career started thanks to Stevens Transport. I went out and did some great things. And hey, I'm here now. I'm glad to be back and to help the guys, help Angela and Serena, the Aaron family, and the Stevens team to get drivers and let's move forward and hit that next level.
Fantastic. Great to have you come home, my friend. How long of a hiatus was it from Stevens Transport?
Well, it's about 21 years. I had left in the late 2006 and did some good things out and about and kept track with Stevens and the Aaron family a good bit. Talked to Angela. They're here in our driver services off and on over the years. And just, hey, the right timing, the right thing came to play, and we got together, and here I am.
Here you are. And I'll bet it was great to come home and reconnect with the Aaron family. And the culture there at Stevens Transport for 45 plus years has always been about family. So I'm sure it was a bit of a homecoming for you.
Well, it's been great. Everybody's been wonderful here. The atmosphere here, I mean, it's push, 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 and that's the only way we want it because that's that way we're succeeding and we're helping other people succeed. Hey, we're changing lives here in our department, the drivers coming in, getting started in their new career. And that's what's so exciting here, adding people to our team and to the family, so to speak. I always say, hey, we're more than family, we're friends. And, that's something, we can pick and choose our friends. We can't pick our family. And, we might be all family, but we're friends too. So that's the mantra I like here.
Well, that, of course, with your position as the director of driver recruiting this time around, 21 years later, what a pivotal position, too, because, the drivers are called the customer in the front of the truck, right? Not just family and friends, but the customer. And we treat them like customers because that's what they're doing. They're transporting the goods for our customers in the back of the truck. So with what you're doing by providing Stevens Transport really with the lifeblood of what they do there, our drivers can't do anything without them. So, David, tell us a little bit about your philosophy and what you bring back to the table here at Stevens Transport in that very pivotal position that you now have.
Good. That's a good place to start, Tim. First of all, my philosophy is just what you said. It's a driver-centric approach. We want to start with, if you've got experience, and you want to come over to a company that's going to treat you with respect, that's going to give you the miles, that's what it's all about. It's about miles. You can have cents per mile all you want, but you got to back it up with miles. And Stevens for 45 years has done that. They backed us. They backed the driver up with miles. More importantly, Mr. Aaron here has supported drivers. I mean, he started this company with basically 13 trucks and 13 drivers, and he grew this to 45 years later. We've got over 2,000 trucks, strong. And, we just reached that $1 billion mark. And it's all because of the driver. The driver had to move the freight that was booked and sold. And, and that's the thing we want to relate, especially new drivers coming in, not just an experienced driver. But hey, you're going to be the most important thing here. It's not just an asset. You're a human being. You're part of a team. You're part of a group that cares about you. And, it's all about the driver here. If a driver's having an issue, from the president, vice president, all the way to, somebody that's in our driver lounge that's sweeping up or cleaning up, every person is important because we all touch that driver. And if they've got a problem, I might not can solve it, but I know we can, and we're going to get them where they need to be.
David, that's one of the beautiful things about the size of Stevens Transport. Clay Aaron told me one time, he said, Tim, we're a really large, small company or a really small, big company. And that's because you have the Aarons up there still running things as a family. And you don't have to run things up the flagpole and wait weeks for something to happen to take care of it. It gets handled right away. And finding that perfect size or growing to this size and maintaining that, I tell you, that's intentional, isn't it?
It is very intentional. And, it didn't happen by, and nothing wrong with a lot of other companies that go out and buy companies up and they integrate in. You lose that personal touch a lot of times. This company was built with grassroots, ground for, grounded in just the way to do business. They call it the Stevens way. Mr. Aaron once said, we're going to move faster, we're going to work harder, and we're going to succeed higher and better than our competition. And that's the way we beat them. And, that's I saw that maybe that's not a direct quote, but that's the gist of what he was trying to get across in one of the videos that I saw coming back into the company. They do a tremendous job of onboarding here, not only with people like me coming into the office, but I'm spending today, Tim, down in orientation with the drivers. I'm learning and seeing what they see. It's just huge, the amount of effort, the expense, the investment that goes into every single driver so that when they leave here, they have the tools they need to hit the road. So yes, we are the smallest, biggest company I think I've ever worked at. And I've worked at a lot of them. That's a good analogy there.
David, you are inheriting one of the most important roles and positions at Stevens Transport. I mean, they're all important. You need every cog to make that wheel spin, but this is the first touch point our new drivers are coming across, right? And the whole purpose of this podcast, when it was started 188 episodes ago, Angela said, this podcast, the mission of it is to recruit new drivers and retain the ones that we have by informing and educating and entertaining with this podcast. And so a lot of people that find this podcast, David, are those that are either thinking about embarking upon a new career in transportation and logistics and doing their homework and research and determining which company that they want to hitch their wagon to. And it's also intended for those that might be working for someone else that aren't as happy and they want to land with a company that's been around for 45 years and have never had a layoff. Right. So that's the point of this podcast. And we are directing those people to your department. So when these our friends on the other side of the speakers are hearing all of this about Stevens Transport saying, yeah, that's where I need to go because they've got the best training and they've got this wonderful company. You are in charge of how many recruiters at this particular time? Question number one. And question number two, what are you imposing upon them so that they are a welcomed first point of contact for these potential new members of our family here at Stevens?
Great question, Tim. First of all, we have a great team here, a great group of recruiters. We call them career advisors here because, recruiters taking orders. A career advisor is giving that person advice. They're steering them in a direction where they can make a good decision. Is this a good fit for me? That's the first question. Are you a good fit for this company? And is our company as a whole a good fit for you when you're making that first decision to become a truck driver? We direct about at least 15 career advisors, both outside. We have field recruiters that go out to the training facilities, to the CDL schools, and give the Stevens story. They get to see it in person. We have drivers that come by with their trucks there so that they can talk to real drivers. They don't just get third-party information. They get to see the real driver. We also have a Stevens school here where you can come right here to Dallas and get started. And we have, about 8 in-house or, internal recruiters that are sitting here every day telling the Stevens story to new people. It's all about the story of what we can do when someone is ready. We always call it, when your desire meets that opportunity, great things can happen. And that's what our career advisors are going to do. They're going to help you make that right decision. And, to be fair, we want every person that wants to be a truck driver, but not every person's going to be a good fit because, you've got to find that niche. And we want to make sure that we're helping you get the best that you can get and be the best you can be when you get here. Because we will actually get you trained either here at Stevens or one of our company-sponsored schools across the nation, or even at an open school that is certified. We would love for that driver to come to us, experience the Stevens difference, and the Stevens family and the Stevens team here.
Well, you just said it, family, training, and then there's safety. I've had the great privilege of interviewing over 100 drivers in our 188 episodes that we have with the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio podcast. And I ask them every single time, what is it about Stevens? Why Stevens? Why did you choose Stevens? And it's either one or all of the three. It's family. They're known for having the best training. I should say we're known for having the best training, and safety, safety, safety. And so those three are the pillars really as to why people make a great decision. And your department, of course, is that first point of contact for all of them. So, David, wanted to welcome you here to welcome you back to Stevens Transport. And if you don't mind, let's get to know you a little bit better for those that might not have been here 21 years ago when you were here. Tell us about your life, about your family, what you love to do. We kicked off this interview by saying you're a dog fan. I was just excited because when I go back on the yard, there's a lot of Longhorns there. And so I got a new dog friend when I'm back there, and I will be back during Driver Appreciation Week, and I might just be wearing this hat as well, too. And I expect
I'll join you with that hat. I'll break mine out. I'll have all of mine back out at one display. I actually have my Bulldog helmet on my desk, so any Longhorn that comes by can go, hey, it is what it is. Good sportsmanship.
That's right.
Good, wholesome sportsmanship. So, hey, it's life's all good on Saturdays. That's all about, each of our teams. We can not like each other on Saturday, and we're best friends on Sunday. So, it's all about that. But, a little bit about my family. I have a beautiful wife. She's going to hold me to this 34 years now coming up. And I have 3 grown children and some grandchildren hanging around out there that, we love to spend some time with. They're all back in Georgia, or 2 of them, and they're in Georgia, and my other son is up in Kansas City area. So, we love spending some time with them. They love spending time with us. But, we also like to do some things. We like to explore new areas. We're going to be new in the DFW area here shortly. And, we like to get out and see our surroundings. But on Saturdays in the fall, you're going to find me on, sitting in the chair watching the dogs play. Somebody said, what else do you watch on Saturday? I said, I don't know. I just watch the dogs play. Whatever comes on, I'll watch it. But, I like some hobbies. I got into coin collecting a while back, in the history of a lot of coins, and looking up, when they were used, things like that. I got into the American Eagle, which has been out since the 80s, and I had almost a complete collection. I've got the newest versions that came out. I don't have the latest coin, but I love those things, looking at history. I love going places where there's been history that we can wrap our head around. One thing, when I was in Kansas City, they had the World War I memorial, things like that. We'd like to learn, our past so that we kind of know where we're going. Same thing here at Stevens. I can relate that back to here at Stevens. We look at the past, where we started, the roots that were put in the ground, and we see now where we're at here, and we can see the vision of where we're going. And we want the drivers to catch that vision. We want the new people to be excited when they come in and get through with their grad and get through with their training and, get their own truck. And hey, Tim, we've got a great contractor division, and a lot of our drivers have been very successful there. And that's the thing that really gets me excited, is seeing people in their lives, how their lives change. I've probably talked to 10,000 drivers in about 25 years, 26 years of this business. And, the ones that stick out the most are the ones that things happen because we made a difference and because they put their hard work into it. And that's what, at the end of the day, when you go home, you're tired, you're frustrated sometimes, but you think of the wins that you have with people. And it comes back down to just people. We're driver-centric. We love people, and we want to see people succeed. And, if we have more of that, we will win. That's the whole thing. It's just like on the football field, the gridiron. We want to win. And every day we find a way to win.
You can tell that you were with Stevens once upon a time, and that foundation was laid.
And
you are back where you belong, my friend. And what a thrill to talk with you, David Edge, our new director of driver recruiting. He's back home where he belongs. He's got a G on his head, but that's all right. People will forgive him for that, because he's a team player and you're a team leader. And I can't wait to meet you face-to-face in September. I'll be there for Driver Appreciation Week, buddy. And please, you have an open invitation to join us here on the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast anytime. And here you are in the final episode of Season 9. So it's a pivotal episode as we embark upon Season 10. When we started this podcast 5-6 years ago, it was going to be a little tryout to see if this thing worked. And then here we are almost 200 episodes later, and a changing of the guard as the director of driver recruiting, David Edge, coming back home, buddy. Can't wait to see you Driver Appreciation Week. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us on the podcast.
Hey, Tim, thank you so much. Can't wait to see you in person. Hey, and, it's going to be a game or two into the season, so I'll just go ahead and say go Dogs, and, hey, go Stevens Transport.
Now more than ever, truck drivers are true American heroes. The men and women who literally keep America moving by delivering goods across the country. Being a professional driver is a rewarding, financially lucrative, long-term career filled with exciting adventures. A career where you'll never have to worry about job security. If you have your CDL and keep it up, it will sustain you for the long haul. You can see the country, serve your country, and provide a good life for your family. Whether you'd rather haul on a dedicated route or lane, or prefer working with one specific customer, if you want to own your business, we have a program that sets you up for success with all the tools and support you need. We've got opportunities in our intermodal rail division, and have programs to help military veterans transition into trucking careers. We have second generations of drivers whose parents have driven for Stevens, who then trained their children and are now truck drivers. Some are even small fleet owners. So, whatever your dream is, you can achieve it right here at Stevens. If you're looking for a company with a 40-plus year track record that's never had a layoff, and just had the largest pay increase in company history for both new and experienced drivers, Stevens Transport has you covered. We offer the finest tools and technology and provide our drivers with the best state-of-the-art equipment on the market. Our infrastructure will support you both on and off the road. As a driver for Stevens, you become part of our family. Many companies throw the word family around. We're family-owned, family-run, and family-driven. Our 40-plus years of success is built on family. At Stevens, you're not just a number. Our drivers are part of our extended family, and we recognize and honor them every chance we get. If you want to be among the top income earners among professional drivers, if you want great benefits, if you want to have every type of driving opportunity at your fingertips, if you want to be part of a company that will stand behind you and ensure your success, come join the Stevens Transport family today and become an American hero. So, what are you waiting for? Take the first step toward your future career with the best trucking company in America. Become part of the Stevens Transport family today by calling our recruiting department at 1-800-333-8595 or apply online at stevenstransport.com.
Ever wondered what it's like to drive across the country and get paid to see America's breathtaking landscapes? Welcome to life as a team driver with Stevens Transport. The life of a trucker can sometimes feel solitary, but with team driving, you're never alone. Let's dive into how teaming up with another driver can transform your trucking career. So what exactly is team driving? Simply put, it's when two drivers share the responsibilities of operating the same truck. This allows for continuous travel and efficient delivery. Federal regulations require solo drivers to be off-duty for at least 10 consecutive hours after 11 hours of driving. Team driving, however, maximizes productivity by alternating driving shifts, cutting down on overall trip times. By working in shifts, team drivers can cover over 5,500 miles a week. That's more than double what solo drivers can achieve, leading to more priority loads and higher earnings. Efficiency is key. With two drivers, tasks like loading and unloading become quicker and easier. Plus, you'll earn more per mile. One of the greatest perks? You get to choose your driving partner, whether it's a close friend or a new acquaintance. Having a partner on the road makes those long hauls more enjoyable. And what about rest? Team drivers sleep in comfy bunk beds while the truck is moving, allowing for nearly non-stop travel without sacrificing sleep. Safety is another major advantage. With two drivers, there's an added layer of oversight to ensure committed safety. So, if you're ready to take your trucking career to the next level, consider team driving with Stevens Transport. It's the perfect blend of companionship, efficiency, and increased earnings. Explore the benefits of team driving and start your adventure today with Stevens Transport. Apply now and join a team that drives you to success. Your journey starts here.
Welcome back to the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. My name is Tim Cicerelli, otherwise known as Trucker Tim. If you wouldn't mind, when you hit your next stop, please follow or subscribe to this podcast from whichever podcast platform you're enjoying it from. We are everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible. If it's a platform with a podcast on it, we are there. And by following the podcast, you'll have a brand new episode waiting for you each and every week as soon as it's released. And if you wouldn't mind, please leave us a review. Tell us what you like about the show and what you'd like changed. We are producing this podcast for you to keep you educated, informed, and hopefully a little entertained as well. Time now for our driver's spotlight. This is audio pulled from a video that you can find on our Stevens Transport YouTube channel. We will have a link to the video in the episode notes. This driver grew up in Dallas and built his trucking career from the ground up through hard work and financial discipline and a willingness to keep learning. Now, setting his sights on 1 million miles, Thomas shares the money-saving habits, work ethic, and life lessons that have helped him succeed as an independent contractor. This is the story of driver Thomas Andres II.
Thomas Andres, independent contractor for Stevens Transport. Grew up here in Dallas. It feels good. It just feels like it's a completion of something. So my next goal is to make 1 million miles, so I'm hoping I can get there. Lone Star in Houston. I'm a friendly person, so I got to know all the teachers and everything and the head guy. And so I got lucky because I got to train on a stick, on a standard, instead of having to do an automatic, so that made my license better. So they really helped out. Probably two things. One, when I started and I was actually out by myself, it was kind of a memorable deal to be by myself once I left the trainer. And today, I think it's really cool to be able to complete something. So I have a good work ethic. I've always believed that if you don't get up every morning and get ready to go to work, you're not going to work. So it just makes it easier to know that you're getting up, you have a time, you're getting up, you're going to work. And it makes it easier to get through the day. My main thing right now is my daughter. She just had twins at Christmas, which gives her 5 kids now. And so my focus is, speaking with her and talking with her every day. I really like to play golf when I'm off. I used to be pretty good at golf, but now being on the truck, you don't get to play as much, so it makes it a little harder. I like the state of Utah and out that direction because it's very pretty. And growing up here in Texas and everything, well, we don't necessarily have mountains, so that's really cool. I don't like snow when it's out there, but other than that. The thing that I tell everybody that asks me about being a contractor, I tell them there's 3 things. It's fuel, fuel, fuel. I necessarily don't do a trip plan to go from point A to point B, but I do set up and know where I'm going to get fuel at the cheapest between those 2 points. And I make a point to be able to stretch it out to get to where I want to be to try to save as much money as I can.
Thank you, Thomas, for sharing your story. As promised, we will have a link to that video in the episode notes. One more thing to do before we pump the brakes on this episode. Let's tip our big 10-gallon Stevens cap in appreciation for a job well done to one of our own. There is no greater reward in this industry than driving down your home street and seeing your grandchildren standing out front, eagerly waving as your truck rolls by. How cool is that? Well, for driver John Grants, those sweet family moments are the true heart of his career. Today, the entire Stevens Transport family is bursting with pride to celebrate John for achieving a spectacular milestone. Not 1, not 2, 3 million safe miles. John has been a dedicated company driver with us since July of 2002. After earning his CDL at TDI in Sanford, Florida, Over the past 24 years, his professionalism has made a legendary pillar of our fleet. In fact, you might recognize his face from our magazine covers or from the main billboard right outside our terminal gate. Beyond his incredible safety record, John has spent over 2 decades paying his success forward as a driver trainer. John has mentored more than 150 drivers, taking immense satisfaction in watching his trainees build successful careers of their own, and many even becoming trainers themselves. So for John, the secret to a successful career comes down to clear communication, patience, and a willingness to learn from everyone around you. When he is off the road, John is a dedicated family man and is a true Lego fanatic and loves building new sets with his grandkids who actually think his truck is the coolest thing in the world, and they're not wrong. John, thank you for nearly 24 years of loyalty, excellence, and leadership. We are honored to have you as a part of our team as you set your sights on your next goal of 4 million miles. So we tip that big 10-gallon Stevens hat in appreciation, John, for a job well done. Well, there she is. Pump the brakes not only on episode 190, but of season 9. So from all of us here at the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast, thank you for listening. So we'll see you in season 10 as we continue to bring you the stories, the people, and information that keep America moving on the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. If you found this podcast because you're searching for a brand new career, please make sure you visit the episode notes. We will have phone numbers and every link possible for you to learn more about Stevens Transport and even schedule a call with one of our recruiters. All the information is in the episode notes. And like we said earlier, please follow or subscribe to this podcast from whichever platform you're enjoying it from, and share it with one of your fellow drivers. We sure would appreciate it. And finally, my name is Tim Cicerelli, otherwise known as Trucker Tim. Thanks for joining me. And until next time, be safe out there. And thanks for listening to the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast.